am thrilled that I hit the ball very, very well today. So, you know, when you're off, you kind of get excited to play. You guys all know you just get back out there and you play. And I set it up on the green. I really did. I made a putt on 18 yesterday, which put me to pairing with Steve. And that was a big deal because everyone knows there'll be 15,000 people all following Steve, and I wanted to be in that group. It gets your heart rate going, it gets a lot of things going, and then I did do that, and then I played well the front nine. And yesterday, when I talked to some people, I'd had a not such a good front nine and a great back nine, and I didn't really pay any attention, but I was 9 under on the back for the first 2 rounds, and I guess even par in the front. So today it was a very good front nine. I made a long putt on the before, but I had chances and I was playing very well. And the back nine, birding 10 and 11 to really put some space for me. I didn't know what Rogers was doing, but I think on the 13th hole I looked up and I had a 3-shot lead. And I knew if I just kept hitting the ball well, I figured I could birdie 16, and then someone would have to birdie every hole to beat me. And I didn't birdie 16, and neither did Scott. So it was a fairly easy 18th hole. It's never easy, but.
All right, we'll open up to questions.
But I think a lot of people have the impression you can roll out of bed and shoot 66. How much have you actually practiced and worked at it over the last 7 weeks while you weren't competing?
Well, I didn't touch a club for. I played. So this week I played Thursday and I played Tuesday. And then before that I had played 3 days before the week. So, I probably had 5 rounds and they were all, kind of at the end, and I practiced on, I'm doing all right. And then it comes down to really short game, around the greens and doing all that. But I can take time off and hit the ball. That's not really the problem. It's the scoring part. And again, I was a little edgy today playing, and I felt like the reason being is, because I knew I could shoot a good score, but if Paul shot a decent score, no one was really going to catch him. And it played hard. With that wind and the way the course played, and you're leading, it's not easy to shoot 68 or 69, and I was lucky enough to make a lot of birdies for the first 11 holes.
Fred, what did you get out of Steve's gallery? Could you feel it early, and how did it compare to the kinds of raw emotion that you feel when you're in contention and like on the regular tour?
Well, they introduced us and we hit, and they introduced Steve, and it was pretty loud, and that's all fun, and it's normal, it's the way it should be. But when you're playing, they're loud for everybody, and obviously if Steve, would have made a couple putts here or there, I mean, he did hit a bang. He got really, I don't know what happened on his putt on 3. I've never seen a ball do what it did, but it looked like it lipped around twice. It was weird. And then he hit one bad shot on 4 and they bogeyed, but then he played extremely well from then on. But the crowds, stayed all day, and even on Friday when we played. So we all want to play in front of people. And so when you're with Steve Stricker and Madison, you're going to have a lot of people following. It's just a given. If I was, the last group, there weren't that many people following them, and they were leading the tournament. But that's normal. Steve has a lot of people here that root hard, and it was fun. It was really very nice. And everyone, not one person said anything, negative that I saw. They were all rooting for all of us, and I felt like if Steve wasn't going to win, then I'm sure glad I did.
How does your mentality change going from chasing a leader to all of a sudden with a 3-shot lead?
Yeah, well, that's a heck of a question because I made a great birdie on 11, and then I hit a shot. I was first up on 12, and I hit this iron, and I was 20 yards short of the green, and that didn't throw me off much because I didn't hit a proper shot, but I didn't hit some horrible. It just was not the correct shot to hit. And then I had birdie putts, but they were easy holes. 13 is a fairly easy hole with the wind. 14 is not too difficult. 15 is a wedge in the green. So I hit really good shots, but I was trying not to make a mistake on those holes and just have birdie putts with good tee shots, which I did. And then on 16, I got that ball curving to the right, the par 5, and I was down there in a good spot, and I totally played a very poor second shot. I went over the green, which you don't want to go, and I made par there. And really, in golf terms, a blessing that Scott didn't birdie it either. Because I'm standing on the 17th tee, which is a hard hole. You know, with the 2-shot lead, I figured I'm good enough to get in with a couple pars, and I hit a good shot on 17 and par 18.
You play, you know, when you can play, you play to win, as you told us all week. Do you ever wonder and play the same game maybe some of your fans do, the what if game? What if you were healthy and you know, how much more could you have done this? Or are you at the point in your career where you take these and really cherish them?
Well, I honestly, on this tour, I feel like I can still win. On the regular tour, towards the end, you know, it just was so hard to play and practice. And if you're going to watch them, we have guys that practice really, really hard out here, and they're 52, 55, 60. I just don't have the body to do that. So where I miss is when I get on a little roll, you know, I don't know how long it will really last. Like up until Houston, you know, I was playing well every single round, every single day. And then I fly home and I wake up the next day and I don't even know what I did. But I popped a couple ribs and couldn't breathe, and then I got a little panicky, and then I said, you know, okay, I'll wait 2 weeks. And I stretched it to 3 weeks, and then we didn't play for a while, and I said, okay, I'll just stay home and go to Stricker's event. But I think, you know, I'm fine. I wish I would have won another major. I had probably 4 or 5 really, really good chances, and I didn't do them or do it. But other than that, you know, I mean, I just can't ever look back. It's very hard. I wish I could have practiced more, but I think I did it for me the right way by hitting just enough balls to get ready, and then even coming here, you know. And like I said, I would never come here to embarrass myself and not be ready to play. That's a waste of time. So I felt like, you know, when I went to hit balls Wednesday before we caught a flight, I said, I'm going to hit balls and I'm going to pretend like every shot, you know, is in a tournament, and I actually did pretty well. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a boost, a little bit of momentum, and this sure gives you momentum.
Freddie, obviously the win is the cherry on top of the Sunday, but how was this week overall for you?
Well, Susan, we had a blast. You know, I can't say enough about Steve Stricker. He's been one of my favorite people forever. And so knowing, you know, his name's on this tournament, he's from here. I wanted to play last year, and this year is my first, you know, tournament back after a long layover. And the people are great. The golf course is really, for me, fits my eye. I like the fact that, you know, there's 5 par 5s, which help. I don't think I absolutely killed them, but I played them fairly well. And then I like that there's a lot of par 3s too, and I struggle on par 3s. But this week, for some reason, I played them very, very well. And so that's all part of it. You know, when you go play, I don't even know what this US Open course looks like. You know, you kind of have to figure out how to play it. And in one quick practice round, which was the Pro-Am, I felt like going into Friday, I knew where to go on most of the tee shots. And there's some tricky tee shots. There's some really, really hard holes when the wind's blowing. There's some difficult shots out there.
Fred, you've played a lot of golf with Steve, going back to, I think, like an Anderson consulting match play years and years ago. You know his game. Did you sense he was fatigued? Because he's played an awful lot of golf the last 5, 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah. I won't say I could sense he was fatigued, but you know, there's a lot to do when you have your own tournament too. You know, you're changing your routine a little bit. He played so well at the US Open. And really the first day we played, you know, he could have been 2 shots better easily. I mean, for him, he 3-putted 16, and he missed a short birdie putt, and then he missed another short birdie putt, I think, on 13. But, you know, I'm sure he's tired. He doesn't play that much anyway, and I know he's not playing next week, and he deserves a rest. He played extremely well at Erin Hills. That was, you know, he still hits it far enough, but for a 50-year-old guy to do that at US Open is a remarkable feat. I know he wants to do better, but what he did was great.
Steve said, you mentioned when you on 18 that if you win, that means you have to come back. Does that fit in your schedule?
No, I will be here for sure. Yeah, yeah. Knock on wood. Yeah. And like I said, I was ready to come. I didn't play here. I thought maybe I could. There was no way last year, but I heard a lot about it. But again, you know, I didn't know what to expect. But even if I didn't win, if I shot 69 today and Scott Verplank won, I would be back. It's a very good course for me. You know, I can't speak for the other 80 guys that play, but I really like the course, and that has a lot to do with it. And of course, it's like we don't play in front of a lot of people, but you have a ton of people here. It's really a nice environment. And I don't know, are there more people here this year than last year? Around the same? Yeah, because Steve wasn't 50 last year, right? No.
All right, anything else?
All right, thank you.